Birdcage Theater. We're a combination saloon, gambling hall, opera house, and brothel. We opened our doors in 1881. We ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until 1889 when we closed down our doors. We ran for about 8.5 years. The reason we closed our doors in 1889 is because of flooding in the silver mine. Population began to dwindle, so we boarded everything up. Thought it'd only be a couple years, turned out to be about 45. We reopened in 1934 as a historic landmark, where, everything was still boarded up in here, completely intact, which is crazy, but I think it's kind of awesome. You guys are only standing in about 8% of the building. From that time that we were open, from 1881 to 1889, there were 16 gun and knife fights. 26 people did lose their lives, and from what we can count, there are 140 bullet holes throughout this building. Just to point out a few. In the vertical post here in the bar, about knee-high up from the ground, that is a .45 caliber. The slug still remains in this bar to this day.
Sweet.
Up here in the ceiling, in between the chandelier and the ceiling fan, that little small mark up there is a .32 caliber. We also have in the human flesh showbill frame, 18 inches from the bottom left-hand corner, that gouge, that is a .45 ricochet. And in the green plaster wall, right above the Lyman Twins poster to the right of Fatima, is a .44 caliber. Now that brings us to Fatima. She was a belly dancer here in 1881. In 1882, she went to San Francisco and had that painting made as a gift to the Birdcage, as a way of saying thank you for starting her career. Unfortunately, our cowboy soldiers and miners only found one good use for poor Fatima: target practice. Throughout her canvas, there are 6 patched bullet holes. There's a large knife slash in her skirt just below her knee, and what looks like a second belly button is just a bullet hole.
Wow.
Now we also have the original bar and back bar in its original location. This bar is handmade out of cherry wood from Pittsburgh. It was shipped around the Horn of South America up to Guaymas, Mexico, where it was then wagon trained the rest of the way here. Seems a roundabout way of getting a bar from Pittsburgh to Tombstone. Reason for that is because the railroad could not ensure that the mirrors would make it here in one piece. These diamond dust mirrors are the same mirrors Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, the Clantons, McLowrys, and Curly Bill Brocious all looked into at one time or another.
Wow.
Now, if you folks do get the chance, take a lean over that glass case right there, look up the staircase, and you will see that the top 3 steps are one to the thickness of a quarter. High traffic area. Our cowboys loved our ladies.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
There you go. Now, this staircase is the only case that leads up to the 14 birdcage cribs. There are 7 on each side. This is where the women would apply their trade to the gentlemen customers. These cribs rented out for $25 a night. They overlook the casino floor that still has the blackjack dice and faro tables. Same faro table that Doc Holliday dealt on here. We also have the stage with its original hand-painted stage curtain, along with some bullet holes from not-so-like performances. Up on the backstage, we have Tombstone's most valuable antique, that is the Black Mariah. The Black Mariah was a horse-drawn hearse in service here in Tombstone from 1881 to 1917, and it took all but 6 bodies to Boot Hill. It's valued by the Ford Foundation worth over $1 million today. It's trimmed in 24-karat gold and sterling silver, and it is the last one of 8 made remaining.
Wow.
To the right of the backstage, we have a staircase that will take you down into the basement, where we have 2 more bordello rooms. These rented out for $40 a night. It's where Wyatt Earp met his 3rd wife, Josephine Sarah Marcus. Actually, we got a picture of her right there. We also have the wine cellar with the original oak wine and whiskey barrels, along with a few other antiques that we've found throughout the building. We also have the high-stakes poker game. This is known as the West's longest poker game. Now, when I mean long, I mean long. 8 years, 5 months, and 3 days. Players would sit and play around the table between 24 and 36 hours straight. Waiting time to get in on the game was between 3 and 4 days. Minimum buy-in was $1,000. House cut was 10%. And $10 million exchanged hands back in that day.
Wow.
Some of the famous gamblers included Bat Masterson, Diamond Jim Brady, Adolphus Busch from Busch Brewery, thank you Budweiser, George Randolph Hearst, and of course the infamous Doc Holliday. Now it is a self-guided tour. If you folks would like to take the tour, it's $10 for adults. Seniors 60 and over is $9. I see no kids, I'm going to skip that part. Thank you for your time, folks, and enjoy your stay here in Tombstone.
Thank you very much.